Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lucky Dog Sim Racing Gen 6 Tuesdays here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Got 100 laps in store for you this evening here at the historic track. Unfortunately, come a little bit of a somber note. It's not something you ever want to do, but last week, one of our drivers, Mr. Robert Jordan, who unfortunately had been unable to make the races this season, due to illness and to spending time with his family. From what I am told, he has passed away. So tonight we are running at Charlotte in honor of Robert. He was a staple of our truck series on Thursdays for a couple seasons. Good friend to very friendly with just about everybody, good friend to some, teammate to a few, and nemesis to one, me. I count Robert among one of my racing friends, and the fact that he and I raced very, very hard whenever we were near each other, and we got tangled up more than once, I think goes to show, how hard we raced each other, how much we respected each other as competitors. So it's not something I look forward to doing, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a memorial for Robert, and I feel honored that I'm the one who gets to call it this evening. Tonight we have Mr. BK Pierce. He is the league admin. He will be running a in memorandum lap with Robert's truck. Robert was typically the number 74. Brian's number in the league is 6, which is why the number is 6. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus right here on that Gold Digger Harley Davidson truck that Robert Jordan ran just about everywhere. Well-known paint scheme in many leagues. Ran in NSRA, super speedways with his teammates Cody Nagels and Vicente Guerrero. Ran with Paul Witt and myself for several seasons in the National Online Motorsports Association NOMA series on Saturdays. He ran in some leagues I am not aware of, but from what I understand, most people who talked to him absolutely loved him. Absolute wealth of knowledge. And we're sad to see him go. We're going to have an extended pace lap so that he can go ahead and leads the first one. And we are going to be having a silent lap 74 in honor of Robert this evening. Before I forget, we'll go ahead and we'll run through the starting lineup. Starting on pole, we have the number 78 of Gary Sapinski. To his outside, the 777 of Michael Pegg. Starting third is the 44 of Jacob Edson. And to his outside and fourth, this is 042 of Estel Fields. Starting fifth is the 9 of John Held, and sixth is the 33 of Gary Ragland. Starting seventh is the 140 of Jim Featherstone. Starting to his outside and eighth is the 105 of Brad Williams. Starting ninth is the 4 of Larry Eddy. 10th is the 129 of Kim Kraus. Starting 11th, we have the 23 of Mr. Ray Zerkut. And in 12th, we have the 50 of Todd Willis. Starting 13th is the 57 of Jeff Gilmore. And 14th, we have the 139 of Derek Garrison. 15th is the 92 of Shane Bowie. 16th, the 43 of Sandy Curtis. 17th is the 89 of Randolph Richards. 18th is the 024 of Everett Lame. Started 19th is the 66 of Colton Manich. 20th is the 76 of Donald Stewart. Started 21st is the 59 of Ralph Blair. 22nd, it'd be the 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr. Starting 23rd should be the 26. Starting 23rd should be the 24 of Jason Adams. Starting 24th should be the, well, unfortunately, not the 6 of BK Pierce. So we go back to the leads. Next will be the 146 of Jason Cavaney, and finally the 91 of Joel Guy. 30 drivers out here in total. I think I missed a few. While we were watching there, as we get going green here tonight for Robert Jordan. I'm sorry I missed a few, just trying to get through all those guys as fast as possible, but Bunch of drivers out here to give Robert Jordan one hell of a send-off. We thank all of our drivers for coming out, making this a night to remember. Looking forward to some fantastic racing. Gary Slipinski was able to get out in front, cleared Michael Pegg very convincingly. 44 Jacob Edson tried to follow him through, not quite. Falls back in line into third. Gary Slipinski leads the way. Jacob Edson third, Michael Pegg second. Estel Fields running in fourth. These top four already doing what they can to spread out and get as much of a gap as they can from the fifth place car, the 140 of Jim Featherstone. Jim doing a very good job, though. They're not able to really get too far ahead of him. He's running there in that purple FedEx car. Close enough to Estel Fields. Estel's not going to be able to run away from him. There's only about 0.4 of a second between the two of them, but he really closes it up right there on corner one entry. 0.4 of a second down to 0.2 of a second, so he's making some good time. Going to have to be careful, though, running behind these guys. Doesn't want to wear out that right front too early. As our top five are single file for a good portion so far of this race. Obviously, we had Michael Pegg trying to do what he could to get around Gary Slipinski there in the early going, was not quite able. We have a 5-car breakaway. Then we have the 33 of Gary Ragland sort of sitting as the bridge. Him and the 4 of Larry Eddy. That's the bridge between Jim Featherstone in 5th and Brad Williams in 8th. There's a fairly substantial gap here between the 33 of Gary Ragland, the 4 of Larry Eddy, and then you jump back to the 105, who is the leader of the second pack. He himself is trying to get out ahead a little bit. The 9 of John Held's doing what he can to keep everyone 2 by 2 behind him, wants them to wear their stuff out, gets a little tight. 50 gets into the wall trying to avoid him. Looks like the 9 had to lift. Look, we may have a caution. A bunch of cars going through the grass. Someone in the wall. I believe that is the 146, Jason Cavaney. Unfortunately, caution is out on lap 6. And we saw that caution start to develop back in turn 3 with the 50 of Todd Willis. So we're going to go back here. We're going to watch probably from TV3 here. They're able to get down the backstretch here fairly well. You got the 9 of John Held. He's trying to keep the 57 and the 50 side by side. The 50 goes in there. I guess maybe he's expecting John to go a different route. John looked like he got tight, and the entire field just tries to avoid him, and he tries to keep it up in the wall. So we'll come back here. We'll go ahead and watch closer here with the 43 is Sandy Curtis, because he was right behind all of this. So we'll go ahead and we'll do a little bit of a ride along here with Sandy. 50 gets up in the wall. Sandy, moves down the track to try and avoid him, and just bounces off of a couple cars there. I believe there were cars behind him that were trying to get by. So go ahead and we'll watch TV1 here. I want to say, look like maybe the 129 there. A little bit of contact between the two of them. Yep. Nope, contact between the 43 and the 50 when the 50 bounced off the wall. So that's unfortunate. That's probably going to be a fast repair for the 43. It looked like his right front was damaged. So we'll go ahead and we'll watch from the 146 of Jason Cavaney. Jason here was a late comer to this caution. So he's trying to check up right here, and everything just kind of pops off real fast behind him and accidentally gets into the front end of the 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr. So we'll go ahead and we'll watch this caution. I want to say from our friend the Chopper Cam. Go ahead and watch the 50 of Todd Willis again. They're going into, so this is them coming out of turn 2 right now. He's trying to get whatever momentum he can on the 57. You can see the 9 get tight and kind of wash up the track. 50 goes up to avoid him, hits the wall, gets off the wall. That car is loose. and it is just mayhem behind him. So we'll watch here. See a few guys able to get through it. 66, 76. It's like the 92, 24. Most of them get through just about scot-free. One more time from the blimp to get a full picture of this caution. Todd was just trying to keep that car up out of the way, and it just got away from there at the top. So that is unfortunate, but most of these guys were able to get down and away, and Lucky Dog does have a 2 fast repair limit here, so all these guys should be able to get back out and running. So we have a couple people on pit road, more than likely had to take a tow that looks like the 146 of Jason Cavaney. So sorry, one vehicle having to take a tow. My guess is there was engine damage to that car, not quite able to get it back rolling. So unfortunately, he's going to be going a couple laps down. As we head back to the front of the field here, Gary Sapinski is still your leader. Michael Pegg running in second. We got the 4 of Larry Eddy, currently scored in the 3rd position. 9 of John Held. With all of that, he will have freed himself from that second pack. He should not, he was really doing his best to try and keep them side by side, but this will put him right up here inside the top 5. Fantastic place to be. So he should be running 4th. And that'll bring the 57 of Jeff Gilmore into the picture, into the top 5 here. So that'll be your top 5 going. As we take the 1 to green, we got several vehicles coming down pit road. We got the 024 of Everett Lane. We've got the 76 here. Let's see. Not used to the 76 yet, still learning. Some of the newer drivers, some of the drivers aren't here. Donald Stewart, 76 of Donald Stewart, down and away, getting a. He's getting a. What's it called? Top off. He's getting a top off here, so he can make sure to make it to the end. Looks like also the 59 of Ralph Blair came down the pit road for a top off. So all these guys should be able to make it to halfway without a problem. Now, folks, we're going to have to keep an eye on, remember, our here restarting in 7th. We got Derek Garrison and the 139. To his outside, we got the 66 Colt Manich. We got the 92 Shane Bowie back here. All 3 of these guys very, very fast. And so this top group, these top 5, are going to want to look at making as much time as they can on those guys as possible, because they are coming. They were taking it easy on their tires. Now, as we go back, green flag racing. Green flag is out. Excellent start from the bottom lane. Gary Sapinski gets out in front of Michael Pegg before they even make it through all the way through the quad oval. He's able to get up there in front of him, already starting. About a 0.2 of a second gap between himself and Michael Pegg. Excellent start. Looks like Garrett Sapinski caught Michael Pegg sleeping. Larry Eddy falls in line up top. John Held, looking like he's committed to the bottom, slides up just to make sure he gets that preferred corner entry. And they are already stacking up back there. 92. Oh, got some folks in the wall. 92 is Shane Bowie around. 44 Jacob Edson around. 2-car spin. Looks like most everyone else kept it going straight. Pace car is out. We'll go back and we'll take a look at that. Go ahead and watch TV1. Yeah, the 92 gets tight, hits the 24. Got loose, that forced the 92 to check up. We'll back and take a look at that one more time. So they make it through turn 2. just fine going down the back stretch. 92 getting a good push from the 44, getting a nice pull from the 139. As they go in, he's right on. He doesn't have the downforce he's expecting, so he gets into it with the 24, tries to save it. That backs him up. 44 goes for a pass low. 43 tries to clear on the outside. And it looks like that they just kind of ran out of room there. And that's not a very fun place to be 3 wide, the exit of turn 4 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. For whatever reason, turn 4 feels so very, very sharp here to the 43. Ball in the 042 around the outside and just bounced off the wall and end up in the right front of the 92. And that's kind of the nature of the beast sometimes when you're trying to keep out of someone and just for whatever reason, you just end up back in him, unfortunately. But that wreck definitely not intentional, just a little bit of contact there with the 92 and the 24. Those two guys running as hard as they can, try and make up some time and make up some space on the folks around them. It was a good job on the 44 and the 92 keeping it out of the wall, keeping their cars, for the most part, pointing straight. But anyway, we were talking about turn 4 exit of Charlotte here and how it's not a fun place to be 3 wide. It just feels very, very narrow. And I think it has to do with the way the vehicles slide up the track towards the wall. At a track like Kansas, you can run 3 wide everywhere around that track. The later you get into a run, the less you would expect anyone to be doing that. But a place here like Charlotte, running 3 wide is, if you can hold it, it is a sight to behold. But not even the professionals make that work very often. So what this will do is it actually shuffles our top 5 again, as I believe we should be. Take a look here. Nope, still have at least one more round, as we have a line of guys coming down pit road. 024, the 20, I believe that's the 6, it's not the 5. So the 024, the 91, the 58, the 43, bunch of guys coming back down pit road to top off their vehicle. But no, our updated top 5 will be the 78 here of Gary Slapinski, restarting first. The 777 of Michael Pegg. The 4 of Larry Eddy now finds himself in 3rd. To his outside is the 89, and running a new paint this evening, but the 89 of Randolph Richard started 17th, currently running in 4th. And John Held is back to where he started in 5th. Now, he still does have the 57 of Jeff Gilmore to his outside. He still does have the 66 of Colton Manich right behind him. And to the outside there is the 139 Derek Garrison. We already mentioned those guys, very, very fast. As we are already double filing here. Should be taking the signal for 1 to go this time by. And these cars feeling very, very tight tonight. I'm not entirely certain why. I mean, I do believe, we're not running a particularly warm track. We got it's 64 degrees, partly cloudy. Track is 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm just thinking that maybe the setup on these cars is not the kind of setup these drivers would prefer. And that's something you run into in Lucky Dog periodically, is every now and then you go to a track and the car is almost like you're driving on ice, super loose, can't quite keep it under you, and throttle control is the name of the game. And then you have instances like this evening where that thing just does not seem like it wants to turn. It refuses to make that left turn that you're expecting it to make. And you're really worried about wearing out that right front tire. And that's, tell you, the man here who is the happiest about these cautions is that man right there in front, 78 of Gary Slapinski. He's been out in front all night. He's been enjoying this, that fresh air, not having to run behind someone. Michael Pegg here also very happy about this because he's been right up, Gary Slapinski's bumper this entire time. This gives him an opportunity to let that right front tire cool down. Now, a lot of these guys not a fan of many cautions, so we're going to hope that we're not in a cautions breed caution situation. A lot of these guys prefer those long green flag runs. And if he was here with us as we get going back racing, green flag in the air, good start from the bottom. Michael Pegg on the top gets a much better start. Where I was going with that, there are some drivers who are with us periodically, folks like 429 of Paul Witt, have bedtimes because, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning comes really fast. Michael Pegg gets a fantastic run there through turns 1 and 2. Gary Slapinski was not able to clear him. Michael Pegg looks like he's able to make it out to the point, drops it down the track in front of the 78 of Gary Slapinski. The 89 of Randolph Richard trying to follow him around on the outside. Has a really good run, noses out Gary Slapinski there at the line for second place. He's getting a good pull from Michael Pegg, but now we're going through turns 1 and 2. If Gary Slapinski can't slide up the course, it's going to have a real issue holding this position from the 89. 89 gets another good run, pulls out slightly ahead, not quite clear. If Randall's able to keep getting these runs going through the corners, he should clear Gary Slapinski before too long. Oh, does it look like we have a little bit of a blink there from the 89? Hopefully that's a one and done. That's not something that's going to happen regularly. If he keeps blinking like that, he will be asked to drop to the back of the line. As he gets another really good run, not quite able to clear Gary Slapinski. Gary's able to get up in front of him. So the only real change here to your top 4 is Gary Slapinski to second, Michael Pegg in first. But we were talking about him, and here he is. We're going to go ahead and take a second to appreciate 139 to Derek Garrison. Already cleared the 4 of Larry Eddy. Currently running in 4th place, running the outside of Randolph Richard. He is hauling the mail on that top side. He's able to get around the 89 fairly easily. He does not want to be stuck behind these guys. He did the playing it safe, taking it easy game early, and he does not want to be stuck there in the back. Unfortunately, for the 66, Colton Manich not able to follow him through. Derek Garrison sets to work on the back bumper of the 78 of Gary Slapinski. We'll go ahead and we'll check. I think we were going to talk about him a little bit. 66, Colton Manich. He's not able to get the exact same run the 139 was. If I misidentified him before, I apologize. It is the 66 I was meaning to talk about, not being able to make up that time. He's setting to work right now, doing the same thing that Derek Garrison did, moving around the outside, working on that. The 042 Vestal Fields gets around to him. Looks like he's got the 44 back here, Jacob Edson, trying to do what he can to follow him through. Looks like that high side is where some of these guys are really wanting to go to make passes, which makes sense because the guys at the bottom not going to be able to make the corner exit that they want. You can see Randolph Richard not able to get up the track like he was looking. And while we were looking here at the 66 and the 44 to see what they were doing, is Colton Manich to work on the 57. 139 at Derek Garrison was able to clear Gary Slapinski in the 78 and is sitting comfortably in second. See, he's not trying to work Michael Pegg too hard. He's running about a lane, about half a lane up, just to keep air on the front of that car. He's not following directly in the tire tracks of Michael Pegg. So it's going to allow him to save that right front tire a little bit more as he goes toward the bottom. Michael Pegg running the middle here through turns 3 and 4 like he was trying to take away the line that Derek Garrison had been using. Did not quite work out. Derek still had a fantastic corner there. I think the best thing Michael could do is just run his line. If Derek isn't able to get a good draft pull, or if Gary Slapinski's able to fill that hole, it's going to be very difficult for Derek to make this pass. Michael just runs his lane, should be okay, and that's what he does here through 3 and 4 this time. Derek Garrison gets real tight through there, has to get out of the throttle a little bit, and that brings 78 Gary Slapinski right back to his inside, and that's what Michael Pegg needs. That's what he wants. He wants these guys, these really fast competitors of his, running side by side, wear their stuff out. 66 Colton Manich has inserted his name into this situation. He's ran low in 1 and 2. Gets a good pull from the 139. Opts to follow the 139. Kind of, sort of, maybe not really. More like a middle lane going through turns 3 and 4. And sort of like a snake in the grass, the 57 of Jeff Gilmore here is just lying in wait, waiting to pounce on whatever opportunity he can to improve his position. So we're lap 26 of 100. He tries to fake out the 6-6 Colton Manich, make Colton think he's going low there. Too far back to really do anything. We appreciate again our top 3. Gary Slapinski really pushing the 139. Derek Garrison as much as he can, trying to get Derek to overdrive these corners just a little bit, wear out that right front tire. 777 of Michael Pegg just running his race, which is what he needs to do. He's got the clean air. That brick wall of dirty air that's behind him. Derek Garrison goes for that pass on the inside. This is going to be difficult here. It really narrows up here at the exit of turns 3 and 4. Car on the outside always going to get a good launch. Michael Pegg gets a good run there down the front stretch. Not quite able to clear Derek Garrison here. Derek's going to have his hands full. Gary Sapinski slaps that side draft on Derek going through turn 2. That pulls Derek back. That stops him from being able to clear Michael Pegg. It also gives the 78 an opportunity to try and retake that second position. He's clear the 139 here, so he should be good to go back running the lane that he was. Derek Garrison has already shown that he is a fast guy, and it's going to take 2-3 guys working on him to keep him back there, and that's what it took. He did not appreciate that side draft from the 78 of Gary Sapinski as he was going for that pass on Michael Pegg earlier. Gave him a shot going into turn 1. Derek sending that message, hey man, it's a little early for that. I didn't like that. I'm going to remember that. Derek, a clean driver. He's not going to wreck you. He may move you, but he won't wreck you. That's something I respect about Derek Garrison, is he'll just bump you to let you know about his displeasure, maybe get you a little out of shape, move you up the track. That's about the worst you can expect of it. You know, Dale Earnhardt showed us all these cars have bumpers for reasons. He's right back in it. 57 of Jeff Gilmore fighting real hard with Colton Manich there. Colton on the outside. 57 got a little tight there, had to let out of the throttle. And while all this is going on, all these guys racing so hard, wasn't he in a wreck earlier? 92 of Shane Bowie, 6th place, is just rocketing his way to the front of this field. Cleared just about everybody behind him in commanding fashion. Now he's given the 57 something major to think about, as he's running right there up against that outside wall, getting really good runs here off of the corners. I don't know if that's a long-term line that he's running, or if he just found some short run speed, maybe expecting another caution. 66 Colton Manich going for a pass here on the 139 at Derek Garrison. It's not very many laps you see Derek Garrison getting challenged like that. Derek, thinking about it, backs out of the throttle a little bit. Thought about maybe going low on the 78 of Gary Sapinski. Thought better of it. Derek maybe thinking that the way he's going to get around that 78, maybe not be low, might be high. Of course, he also may be thinking that he's going to need a little help here from the cars behind him. Colton Manich, though, running that bottom, he's just that little bit too far back to be able to help Derek, like maybe the way Derek is hoping he'll be able to help. It's a very interesting thing you're seeing here. You're seeing the 78 go low, the 777 run middle, the 139 running a little bit higher. As the 78 goes for a pass here on the 777. Is able to nose him out there at the line. So Gary Sapinski back to the point, but he's got the 777 of Michael Pegg to his outside. Michael Pegg gives him a little bit of a side draft. It's going to pull the 78 back alongside. And that's going to create a little bit of a traffic jam if these guys run side by side. Michael Pegg able to re-clear the 78 and reassert himself as our race leader. You got to wonder what these two here behind Gary and Michael are thinking. Do we need to go ahead, maybe pit before them? Do we want to stay out and run a little bit longer than them? because these guys are working very well as a team. This top 6 here, all 6 of these cars within half a second of each other. Derek Garrison was able to get by the 78 there, clear him going into turn 3, but 78 was close enough. He was able to stick his nose in there on corner entry. So Derek looking like he's going to really have to work that outside. If he can do the same thing to Gary Sapinski that Gary did to him, slap that side draft on, pull him back, slow him down, he may be able to clear him, but he really needs help from the 66 of Colton Manich. He needs that push. He got it. He's to the inside of Michael Pegg right now, forcing Michael to run a little bit higher than Michael likes to. 66 to the outside of the 78. That's going to stop Gary from being able to get back to Derek as easily as he would like. To help Michael Pegg there. Derek Garrison able to get a nose ahead going into turn 1, but Michael Pegg out there, he's going to have that preferred line coming out of the corner, going to have all that momentum. Derek here stuck on the bottom. Michael Pegg trying to pinch him down. Michael Pegg going to nose him out, clear him here by the line. But really nowhere for Derek to go. He's got to stay down there on the bottom. He is committed, was not able to slide up. Michael Pegg throws that side draft on, pinches really, really hard. That's going to make that 139 really tight. He had to get out of the throttle there. Gets a good push by the 78 here down the front stretch. Our leaders are 2 by 2 by 2. Michael Pegg able to squeak his way out in front, and that puts the 139, the 66 side-by-side fighting for second place. The 8 back to 4th. He's doing what he can to get back up there. Looks like the longer this race goes on, the harder it's going to be to pass there on the bottom unless you have help. It's Colton Manich tap the wall a little bit. See everyone behind him take evasive action. You know how we said it was 6 cars under a blanket. It's now 7 cars under a blanket. 042 of Estill Fields. He went nowhere. He has been sort of just sitting back, biding his time at the back of this pack. He was 3/10 back, 4/10 back, half a second back, right up the rear bumper at the 57 of Jeff Gilmore. Challenging the 139 of Derek Garrison, who dropped like a rock. Just sort of got freight trained there by cars on the outside. So he's trying to drop back in line. This has done no favors to the feeling of that car as he just sets to work there on the outside trying to make up time. Michael Pegg here, still your leader, getting pushed. Very good pushes from the 78 of Gary Sapinski. Not often, not in too many leagues, you see a Chevy and a Toyota work this well together. But you got that Ford behind him, the 66 of Colton Manich. He's backed off a little bit. It's like these guys are racing really hard. Maybe I want to wait a little bit before I race too hard, but the 92 of Shane Bowie launched it in there, went for the slide job, was not able to clear Colton. Lets out of the throttle, backs it up. That puts the 92 from 3rd to 6th, getting challenged by the 42 of Estill Fields on his outside. At 139, probably happy he's able to get it up another position, up into the 5th position. As he continues to work on the 57 of Jeff Gilmore. Figure if he can get Jeff up there, or past Jeff, that'd probably be the best thing for him. We shall see as this keeps going. I want to go look at the rest of the field, but the way these leaders are running, they are running real hard, side by side, challenging most corners for position. There's a lot of different strategy being played up here in the front of the pack. It's a very exciting race. So happy these drivers were able to come out, put on a good, exciting race, especially up here at the front. All of these guys fighting really, really hard for position. Derek Garrison still working on that 57 on the outside. He's able to get it to his outside. Should be able to get a very, very good run through the corners here. He'll probably have the 130, the 139 will probably clear the 57 here by the exit of turn 2. Looks like he's got him. Derek Garrison to 4th. Back to tracking down the 66 Colton Manich, thinking of maybe taking it low. Decides, no, not going to do that. This top side, no one's running it. It's clean air up here. Keeps it there around the outside. As this goes on later and later in the run, that right front tire might not be able to hold that. So he's playing with fire there with that outside wall. 66 Colton Manich sees what Derek Garrison's doing. Tries to take it up high. Can't quite do it. So we got a car on the wall. That looks like the 57 got into it. So unfortunately, he's dropped back to 7. Had to really back out of it. I'm not certain. I was not able to do my usual test, so I'm not certain if they're able to make it to lap 50 or not. I do believe he was one of the drivers that pit at least one time under one of those cautions, so he should be able to get there, but he's running with damage. You can tell that car is wounded. So we go back to the front. Michael Pegg has Gary Sapinski all over his rear bumper. You got the 266 Colton Manich, 139 at Derek Garrison just lying in wait. It's a 52. Gary Whitmer Sr., he's got fresh tires. He just came off pit road. He's going to be faster than all these guys. He was thinking about going for it there for a second, decided against it. He's really backed out. He's going to move to the top side, try and let Estel Fields by. It looks like that's the line Estel Fields prefers to run. 52, not quite certain where to go. He's got fresh tires. He's faster than everyone ahead of him, but they're all racing for that lead. At the same time, he wants to get that lap back. So what does Gary Sr. do? Looks like he sets to work going ahead, getting around the 139 of Derek Garrison here. Hopefully they're not stuck side by side too long. All that's going to do is wear out Gary Sr.'s car here faster. It's going to really slow down Derek. Looks like he's able to clear not only Derek, but Colton Manich going through 1 and 2. Sets to work on passing the 78. What is Michael Pegg doing? Down below the white line. Is he coming to pit road? My guess that's exactly what he was doing. He fired it straight down there. Yes, Michael Pegg to pit road right in front of the 52. 66 Colton Manich saw that coming. Came down pit road himself. So that'll go ahead and give the lead to the 78, Gary Sapinski again, with Derek Garrison right behind him. Fortunately for Gary, that separated him and Derek by about a half second. So if Gary wants to pit this time, he's not going to really have to worry about Derek for too long. Looks like he's opting to stay out. What's Derek going to do? Derek down pit road, brings the 92 of Shane Bowie and the 42 of Estel Fields with him. We are in the midst of green flag stops here. A whole bunch of people coming down pit road. We got the 76. We got the 59. Looks like he's coming off pit road. We got the 50, the 44, the 43. Looks like he's staying out a little bit. Everybody down pit road just about. Gary Sapinski, Jeff Gilmore, John Held, Larry Eddy, Sandy Curtis, these guys still out. Randolph Richard, he's still out. 146 Jason Cavaney down and away. Gary Sapinski bringing it to pit road this time. So he's getting his service. He cannot afford to let those guys be out on fresh tires too much longer than him. So what this will do is this will give our lead to the 57 here of Jeff Gilmore. He'll be thinking about pitting here pretty soon. But Derek Garrison, out of everybody, he's come out ahead. He's listed as our first car here a lap down, so once these pits finally cycle... Oh, caution on the track. I must not have been paying attention. Pace car is out. Take a second to see what happened. We'll see here. I'm kind of looking to see what might have happened. That's what happened there. We found it. And that is not what Colton Manich wanted at all. So go ahead and we'll take a look here. 66. We'll watch from TV1, get a little bit of a closer view. 66. It's passing the 91 here. It's like Joel Guy got into the wall, bounced off the wall, came down, and drilled the 66 in the side door. We'll go ahead and we'll take a moment. I don't think Joel Guy had been to pit road yet. So we'll go ahead and we'll do a ride along with the 91 here, just see what happened. So he's going here through turns 3 and 4. Gets back in the throttle. Got loose. Maybe in the wall a little bit. Got right into the 66 of Colton Manage. Now you want to talk about the person we really want to ride along with. Right here, Michael Pegg. So he came off pit road right behind Colton Manage. Colton Manage got on and off pit road a little bit faster. They got the 91 there to their outside. We'll ride along with the 777. He went to the outside, try and get a little bit of a pull from the 91. Sees the 91's going slow, goes to drop back low. Just barely avoids that wreck. We're going to see what this does to our entire field. Because we had a whole bunch of people come down pit road and get service who are now a lap down. And that man, Michael Pegg, is one of them. So currently our top 5 is 57 of Jeff the 78 of Gary Sapinski, 57 of Jeff Gilmore, 9 of John Held, the 4 of Larry Eddy, and the 43 of Sandy Curtis. That's your top 5. Derek Garrison, remember, he came down pit road before Gary Slapinski. Looks like he was able to get his lap back. He's our last car currently on the lead lap. But we got a lot of cars here in front of these guys, a lap down. Take a look here. See how far back Gary Slapinski is. Everyone in front of him is a lap down. They came to pit road a few laps ago. Most of them only had one green flag lap on these tires. And so they get to go around. Unfortunately, they'll be restarting single file at the back of the field. And so that's going to be Estill Fields, Michael Pegg, Ralph Blair, Jason Adams, Kim Kraus, Everett Lane, Donald Stewart, Jacob Edson, Jim Featherstone. Those guys are all going to have to restart at the back of the field. Tell you who's really going to be hoping for another caution. Unfortunately, it's going to be the 66 of Colton Manich here. Also scored a lap down. He was in that caution. It's unfortunate for him. Looks like not certain if he's having to just catch the field or if he's being told to go around, folks. As we get our 1 to green, so everyone ahead. Michael Pegg, Estill Fields, Ralph Blair, Shane Bowie, all these guys going around to get their lap back. And they are doing exactly what they need to do. They are moving as fast as they can without tearing these tires up to go ahead and catch up to the front of the pack. We are lap 55 out of 100. A reminder, in remembrance of Robert Jordan, we are going to have a silent lap 74 tonight. So that should be here in about 19 laps. As we come back to the start-finish line, it'll be Gary Sapinski on the inside, Jeff Gilmore on the outside. Green flag is back in the air. Much better start from the bottom. John Held gave the 78 a very good push. 2 of them should be able to get around the 57 to Jeff Gilmore before too long here going into turn 1. Looks like they're both able to clear, and 57 drops down to the bottom right in front of the 43 of Sandy Curtis, who is being challenged to his outside by Larry Eddy in that white car. He's got a little bit of a push there from the 89. I believe that's the 89 of Randolph Richard. That is, gave him a little bit of a push there. He's able to clear up into third place, challenging John Held for second. He has a monster run through the quad oval. Right there up along the top. Looks like he's cleared the 9 of John Held there. He's going to have a monster run here coming down the front stretch. Sorry, back stretch. This guy, absolutely phenomenal restart here from Larry Eddy in a lap. Launched himself up to second place. He's already thinking about getting up to that 78, challenging for the lead. He's seen what's been going on. He's been seeing that this front, I mean, more so at this track than any other track I think we've run this season. Clean air is king here. He's got to get out in front. He's got to make as much of these tires as he can. And if you look back at some of the guys we were talking about earlier, 139 Derek Garrison, he's back here in traffic. He is mired. Estill Fields to his outside. Those guys were a lap down all around him. Estill Fields to his outside. Michael Pegg here fighting with the 92 Shane Bowie, the 146 Jason Cavaney, and the 24 Jason Adams, doing what he can to get by. We were thinking about, I think he's still a lap down. Colton managed the 66. He's still back here trying to make up any position he can. He's seeing if he can unlap himself the hard way, thinking maybe that might be the play. But he's got the 42 Estill Fields to his outside. He's got the 43 Sandy Curtis in front of him. Jeff Gilmore in that Miller Genuine Draft 57, also not going to be an easy guy to pass. They all set to work seeing what they can do to get back up here to 78 of Gary Slapinski, who has a rear view mirror full of Larry Eddy, who brought the 89 of Randolph Richard with him. Randolph currently running in the third position, sitting very comfortable here. Got around John Held fairly easily. Not certain if John Held's doing what he can to just save those tires. More than likely, that's what he's doing. Remember, he restarted third, gave the 78 one heck of a shot to get him out front. Sandy Curtis in the 43 running that high line, trying to get a push from the lap down car. Colton managed to see if he can at least get alongside the 9. Not look like he's able to quite get there. Colton looked thinking maybe sending it 3 wide. Sandy Curtis backs out of it a little bit. Colton, if you want to make it 3 wide, go on ahead, but make it quick. Colton backs out of it going here into turn 1. He sends it again, 3 wide for a second there in turn 1. Estill Fields backs out. Comes up the track right in front of the 57. Both of them keep it pointed in the right direction. Side by side. This has all happened right in front of the 777 of Michael Pegg, who, if we remember, was the first one to pit under that last pit cycle, trying to make up some time, get out ahead of everyone. Unfortunately, sort of bit him in the behind a little bit. Really mired him down here in traffic. Just cut back to the front. 78 of Gary Slapinski's managed to pull out a little bit from the 44. Sorry, from the, not the 44, from the 4 of Larry Eddy. Enjoying that nice clean air. Talked about it a little bit. Colton managed to make an excellent time, got around the 9. Working on the 89, Randolph Richard right now, just trying to get ahead as quickly as he can. Remember, all these guys came down pit road within about 3-4 laps of each other. So he's getting as much out of these tires as he can right now to get as much as he can. If we take a look back a little bit further here around the 24 of Jason Adams, these guys all running side by side, especially if you look at the 146 of Jason Cavaney. He's a lap down. He is absolutely surrounded by lead lap cars here. They're trying to get around Jason, but Jason is just as fast as they are. We talk about him just about every week about how fast he is. 44 Jacob Edson here. This is where he's stuck. Back in the 12th position behind all these guys. Doing everything he can. Just looking for some kind of hole. Looks like he's just working with whoever's faster in front of him. Right now, that might appear to be the 59 of Ralph Blair. If he can give Ralph a good shove, they might be able to get past there, past the lap down car, Jason Cavaney. Jason not trying to make this hard. His car is just as fast as theirs right now, so just running his line, running his race. Remember, Jason Cavney was caught up in that first caution and unfortunately went 3 laps down while towing. He's just trying to get everything he can. 59 gets into the 146 there. Maybe a little frustration there. Looks like a little bit of frustration there from Ralph Blair. Larry Eddy sends it around the outside. Oh, they get into it again. Ralph Blair down into the wall on the backstretch. Collects the 140 at Jim Featherstone. That had been brewing for a while. Well, we'll take it back a little bit further. These two racing side by side very hard. Ralph Blair not able to clear Jason Cavney like he was wanting. Jason can't exactly lift. He's got the 44 behind him. He runs a risk of getting run over there on corner exit. So he's just doing what he can. Stay out of the way. 59 gets into him. Maybe thought the 146 was trying to pinch him. Gets into it a little bit there and turns 1 and 2. 44 sends it around the outside. They're 3 wide. 146 comes down the track. Avoid Edson is successful, but it looks like, can't quite tell if. So we'll go ahead and we'll watch from our friend the Chopper here. Let's get backwards a little bit, see them get into it. A little bit right here. I think Larry, just like Ralph may have thought he wasn't given quite enough room. Gets into him a little bit. That slows them both down. 44 comes around the outside. I don't think there was contact initially between the two of them. There's a little contact there. And here coming off the corner. No, 59 comes down the track to avoid. Maybe not too happy with 146 goes back up to give him a bump. I don't know. Maybe it was an overcorrection. We'll ride along with Ralph. Oops. That looked like that hit got the car loose. So that probably not intentional there. I was about to say that'd be an odd place to wreck. We'll go ahead and we'll ride along. You see these guys just beating and banging on each other from the perspective of the 140, who is the innocent bystander in this caution. He stays in it, not expecting the 59 to come back up the track, and just absolutely drills him. I do not believe the caution had waived by that point. And Ralph trying to save that car the entire way. Unfortunate. Yeah, that 140 is junk. That does not look like that car is capable of turning on its own. That is unfortunate. Jason Cavney here will be back out without too much issue. The 140 appears to be done for the evening. It's unfortunate. Jason Featherstone was having a pretty good race this evening. Check on the 59 here. And he is back out. Currently right behind the pace car, so I do believe has currently scored the first car lap down. Looks like he was able to come down and get some service, get repaired. before he was able to officially go to a lap down. So when we come to 1 to go, which we are, he should get a wave around, get his lap back, so he will be the tail end of the lead lap. That'll put 16 cars currently on the lead lap, and that will put the 92 here of Shane Bowie in your lucky dog position. I do believe, yes, it'll be Shane who will be our lucky dog if we get another caution. Back up here at the front, this has been a story that has been developing all night. Gary Sapinski, I don't think, has been outside of the top 5 all evening, not counting that green flag pit stop we had. He's got Larry Eddy, who was wicked fast on that last restart, to his outside. John held right behind him. Remember, John gave him an excellent push there to get him out past second place on that previous restart. Got 43 of Sandy Curtis restarting in 4th. Michael Pegg, remember, he had to take a wave around. He's restarting 5th to his outside. Derek Garrison restarting 6th. These two of the fastest cars all night. We've seen how aggressive Derek Garrison is. He wants to finish first, and I hope he does, because you want to talk about a guy I would love to talk to. I don't see him in our chat window, but I would love to talk to Derek here as we come back to the start-finish line. Green flag is back out. Much better start from the top lane. The 4 gets a much better start. He's still side by side with the 78, but I expect Gary's going to have him cleared. He does. He's got the 9 that John held to his inside. John's going to try and follow him through 777 of Michael Pegg. There he is, trying to push John Held clear. He's thinking of challenging for second place going into turn 3. He launches it in there. John Held sees him coming. Larry Eddy round the outside. 3 wide coming through turn 3. That didn't work last time. Looks like we all keep it going straight. Couple cars in the wall. Couple cars going through the grass to avoid the calamity. The 4 of Larry Eddy back to 10th. Had the momentum. Felt he had to go with it. Unfortunately, did not work out. So we'll go ahead and we'll go back to your leader here, Gary Sapinski, as he continues to check out. We here will be looking at our silent lap 74 this time. And that was felt 1 lap wasn't quite long enough. So we went ahead and gave him 2 in honor of Robert. We're going to take an opportunity to talk a little bit about him here, closing laps of this race. Robert, like we mentioned, good friend to some people in here, good teammate to a few, friendly to just about everyone he talked to, very much a family man. We'll go ahead and we'll read through this real quick. Robert Dwayne Jordan, 68 of Winsboro, Texas. Pain and suffering ended in a Tyler hospital on January 11th, 2024. He battled illness with dignity and honor. He was born in Kaufman, Texas, on December 17th, 1955, to the late Joe and Ida Mae Jordan. He's preceded in death by his sister Deborah. Robert was a 1974 graduate of Winsboro High School, went on to graduate from East Texas University in 1978. He was a coin collector and a gun collector enthusiast who purchased them and seldom took the price tag off to the amusement of his family. You know, I got to appreciate that. We talked a few times about his firearm collection and the fact that, he just, I bought it because I wanted to have it. Robert also enjoyed online car racing. He's survived by his wife of 47 years, Joyce Gray, his son Oren Shane, and his wife Diana, daughter Kylie Hayes, and her husband Jeremiah, his favorite child who happens to get along on four legs, Molly, his sister Laketta Joy Bryce, and her husband Charles, his grandchildren Tyler, Kinsey, Jason, Cadence, Madison, and Ella. Robert, it was an honor racing with you, and I think we're all going to miss you. Gone but not forgotten. As we get back to our race here, we'll go ahead and check in with our leader, Gary Sapinski. Has not really been able to crawl away from Michael Pegg, who worked his way back up to second place. And we talked about him. 139, Derek Garrison. This man dug into the top three like an Alabama tick. He is going absolutely nowhere. He has been forward. He has been backwards. He is back up to the front, currently running in the third position, setting his sights back on Michael Pegg and Gary Sapinski. Those two work together so well. He may need some help, and if things continue going like they are, he may get it. 44, Jacob Edson. Where did he come from? Remember, he was stuck back in 12th position, currently running inside the top 5, challenging the 43 Sandy Curtis for 4th place. Looks like he's able to clear him here, coming off of turn 2, bringing the number 9 of John Held with him. Doing what he can to get up there to the 139 of Derek Garrison, 777 of Michael Pegg, and the 78 of Gary Sapinski. He knows, just like Garrison does. Garrison goes for a pass on Michael Pegg. These two are going to have to work together to get past the 78 and the 777. 78 and 777, very good dancing partners. Derek able to clear Michael Pegg here, going through turn 1, gets him well before the entrance of turn 2. Rockets out, trying to track down the 78 of Gary Sapinski. We'll keep an eye on that. Want to take a second to let everyone know this is actually our season finale. Something that, and all of the happenings of the last week actually slipped my mind. I had a healthy reminder from one of the league admins let me know about this. So before I forget, here on lap 84, we'll take a second. We'll look at our points. From what I understand, it's a pretty tight points battle between Gary Sapinski and Michael Pegg. Michael, I do believe, just needs a good points finish. He's currently our points leader. Gary Sapinski is second place here in the points. I'm going to go ahead and see here on my... Does not appear I have it in my... on my phone like I normally do, so that is my fault. Michael Pegg is your leader. Gary Sapinski, currently your race leader. He is currently second in the points. Third would be the 59 of Ralph Blair. He unfortunately not having the night that he really wants. Ralph here currently running in the 15th position, trying to do what he can to recover, especially after that caution earlier on. Fourth in the points is the 44 of Jacob Edson, who's worked his way up here into the top 5, currently running in the 4th position as well. Fifth in the points would be the 43 of Sandy Curtis, who has dropped back to the 7th position. Gary Whitmer Sr. in the 52. He is your 6th place driver in the points. He has currently scored a 2 laps down, unfortunately. Just trying to get all the laps he can, get all the points he can. 7th in the points would be the 89 of Randolph Richard. Randolph currently scored 15th. Looks like Ralph was able to get by Randolph there. So Randolph here on track for a lead lap finish. Would be good points for him. Sitting 8th in the points is 66 of Colton Manich. Colton got caught up in a couple incidents, so he's currently sitting a lot further back than he'd like. He's currently running 9th. Just trying to get all that he can. 9th in the points would be the 50 of Todd Willis. Todd, I do believe, is currently out of the race. Both his fast repairs used up in incidents. And 10th is the 33 of Gary Ragland, who also appears like his night is done. So back to our front here. These top 5 cars currently running single file down the straights. No one really looking too much for anything. But then you notice through the corners they are running different lines. So go ahead and blow this up to camera 3. You see first low, second high, third low, fourth high, fifth low. They're trying to keep as much clean air on the front of these cars to keep that downforce, keep that right front going. As we're in the closing laps, 10 laps to go, be this time by. Derek Garrison all over the back of Gary Sapinski. He's like, finally, I can try and set to work on passing you one-on-one. They've managed to put about 0.2 of a second between themselves and Michael Pegg. Michael Pegg not going anywhere, though. So Gary Sapinski moving up the track a little bit, trying to take away Derek's line, not quite able to work. Derek gets a good launch down the backstretch, clears Gary Sapinski. We may have a pass for the lead. A little bit tight there. Gary had to get out of it. Derek Garrison to the point. Finally able to get past that 777 and the 78. All he had to do was split them up. That is not an easy thing to do. So he is to the point here. 9 laps to go. Is Gary Sapinski going to be able to mount a charge to get back by? Gary Sapinski looking to the inside. Derek Garrison keeping it up the track. He's not pinching Gary. 777 of Michael Pegg looking maybe insert himself, give Gary a little bit of a push. Gary not able to clear Derek at all. Derek gets him there at the line. They're going to be side by side going into turn 1. Who does Michael Pegg go with? Probably going with the 78. Bottom is the shortest way around this track. Derek Garrison, though, he knows how powerful that top line can be, especially on laps this late in a run. Each of these guys got 25 laps on these tires. Gary Sapinski get a good run there. Derek trying to pinch him down, take all that side force off the car. Gets a good run here going through turn 3. Is able to nose out Gary Sapinski again here at the line, about half a car length ahead. They're still going to be door to door. Michael Pegg doing everything he can to get Gary by. They are pinching hard. Almost contact between these two. 139 almost in the wall. Keeps it off the wall. This racing side by sides brought the 44 and the 9 right back into the conversation. Tell you, our top 5 have kept this interesting all night. Derek Garrison doing the same thing. Pinching as hard as he can there on the 78. Almost clears him there at the line. Not quite. All he has to do is get that back bumper clear. But and we have a caution. This is going to re-rack him. What do we do from here? Looks like the 129 and the 57 got into it. Go back and take a look. So they're going through turns 3 and 4. Looks like the 57 just got caught up. Looked like the 129 maybe thought he was clear. We'll pull the camera back a little bit and we'll see if we can see. They're going through turns 3 and 4. There's barely enough room there for a car there. 57 had a little bit of a better run. Just came up the track, caught the 57 across his nose. We'll watch one more time from our friend in the chopper. Just a very tight race car here. Yep. Maybe thought he had a little bit more room there. 57 got just a little bit better run. than the 129 thought he did. And that's just hard racing. I mean, we've been watching the hard racing up at the front all night long. It has been absolutely amazing to watch. And that's the exact same thing we're seeing here, is these two guys fighting for everything they could get. It doesn't look like either one of these cars has race-ending damage. They should be able to get fixed, come back out, and continue to contend. Now, we are going to see a very interesting choice in pit strategy here as we see the 129. That rear end is fixed, so he probably had a quick repair left in the bank. But this is what we're talking about. This is going to be a very interesting race. We're going to be coming back green, I want to say, with probably 2 or 3 laps to go. This may be a natural green-white checker. Gary Slapinski, Michael Pegg, Colton Manich. These 3 all have 28-plus laps on their tires. They stayed out. Our leader at the time of caution, the 139, Derek Garrison, he came down pit road. He's got fresh tires. You know who else has fresh tires? That 9 car, John Held. These 2 guys, I'm not certain exactly how this is going to pair out, but these guys are 4th and 5th. I think he beat Derek off pit road. So I think John's going to be restarting 4th. Derek's going to be restarting 5th. I think John's got the better position here on the restart, because he's going to be the outside. So on this start, he's going to be able to rocket to the outside of Michael Pegg going through 3 and 4. So 1 and 2. He'll be able to take them 3 wide almost immediately. These guys, it's going to be a old tires versus new tires, and I've seen this before. I don't expect this to be pretty. We take a look at this. John Held, though, only has an 8.5-second pit stop, so he may have only taken 2 tires. Derek Garrison, we should explain how he beat Derek Garrison. Derek with a 14-second stop. That's fresh tires. And for one last time, it's good to see. Good to see that paint out. Robert Jordan's truck out here, lead them down. I do believe we will be taking the 1 to go here this time. So this will be a natural green-white checker. I know the lap ticker up there says lap 4 of 101. That is just because Brian has kept that truck parked on pit road. You know, the Gen 6 car is a lot faster than the Craftsman trucks. But here on what should be our final restart of the night, we got Robert Jordan's very beautiful Harley-Davidson truck leading him to the green one more time. And we'll go back to leader here, Gary Sapinski, leading him out of turn 4 for what should be the final time. Under caution, here we go. Green flag is back out once again. Let's finish this off for Robert Jordan. Excellent restart there from the 139 into the back of the double six of Colton Manich. What is Derek Garrison going to do? He's going to have the freshest tires here. The number 9 of John Held did not get the start that maybe he was thinking he could get. Derek Garrison is bottled up there on the bottom. Shoots it 3 wide there down the back stretch. Caution is out. Bunch of lead lap cars all torn up. Was it a natural green-white checker, or was that our one attempt? We will find out. Pace car is back out. I think that was our one attempt. Let's see where this started. So who was that? Back up a couple rows. I want to say it happened a little bit further back. They were all stacked up. It's like Everett Lane got a little bit of help, not quite able to save it. Back up into the field. So we'll go ahead and we'll ride along with him real quick. You got a little bit of a help. Yeah, you saw his wheel was turned all the way left, and it was coming right up the track. That is unfortunate. Caught a lot of guys up. Looks like that was our one attempt at a green-white checker. So if I am looking at this, this should make your leader, sorry, your winner, the 78 of Gary Sapinski, the 777 of Michael Pegg coming second. And third, I do believe, is the number 9 of John Held. 66 of Colton Manich here. So he lost 1 position to come home fourth, and the 139 of Derek Garrison comes home in fifth. We got some dueling burnouts here with our top 2. So we'll go ahead and we will collect our top 3 finishers for interviews, and I will be right back. Alrighty, and we have our top 3 here. Let's see, where did he? Well, that is a mighty shame. Well, the number 9 of John Held just disconnected, but I will go ahead and take an opportunity to say congratulations, John. Fantastic finish. Looks like that 2-tire stop strategy you had going was what you needed to pull out a third place finish. I think maybe if we'd been able to go to the distance, you might actually had our leaders. But we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the second place driver, Mr. Michael Pegg in the 777. Michael, this is William in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
So I've been practically yelling all night with how exciting it has been. You are probably soaking wet with all the work you had to do tonight.
Yeah, I had to shovel my way out of that one.
That was, I mean, we were complaining. I want to say a lot of drivers were complaining all through practice about how tight this car was, but you guys were side by side, bumper to bumper for just about this entire race. I mean, how different did the car handle between practice and the race? It looked like 2 different cars.
It was tight, but not like I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to season break in half, but no, it's actually not too bad. Just had to throttle brake to get it to turn. Dirty air was not too bad tonight. It was not like the trucks normally is.
Yeah, no, and it looks like you guys, I mean, once you got that rhythm down, looks like all of you were able to make a lot of speed. I mean, you and Gary were very fast down there around the bottom. You had folks like Derek Garrison who were hauling the mail up top. Like, once you figured that out, it seemed like this car could maybe run anywhere.
Yeah, they were flying. Yeah, hats off to them. Yeah, we saw him coming. We were like, uh-oh, here he comes. Yeah, he's very competitive. And then Colton, here he comes. So, yeah, it was tough up front tonight.
Well, I want to take an opportunity to congratulate you for your second place finish. Not quite able to get around Gary there at the end. You think if we'd gone the distance, you might have been able to get him?
I don't know. It's so, you know, you get side by side, and he's not going to let off. It's hard to clear. You know, you really got to get a lot of draft to get by him. I'd really have to get up on him coming out of turn 2 and get him down the back straightaway. It's tough, boy. Gary's not going to give you anything. You're going to take it from him.
I mean, absolutely. He's probably one of the hardest people in the world to pass. I did want to go ahead and say, looking at the points, I think you're our points winner.
Should be. Gary's going to be real close.
So I think it's going to come down to the calculation of bonus points and whatnot. But if you are indeed our champion, which I believe you to be, I want to go ahead and congratulate you on a fantastic season. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank Brian for all the work that he does. Without Brian, we couldn't make this happen. I want to shout out to Robert Jordan's family. Sorry about the misfortune they had, and we're going to miss him. He's a great guy to race with. I want to thank all the regulators. Can't do it without them. I want to thank all the Lucky Dog members and all the Lucky Dog guys, Lucky Dog broadcasting. I want to thank you, William, for everything you do. Gary tonight for winning. All the guys showing up tonight and racing. They race hard, man. It's a good race.
I got to echo that sentiment exactly. I'm going to miss racing with Robert, and I appreciate all of our drivers coming out and putting on one hell of a show. I mean, man was a race fan. Wouldn't want us to stop.
No, I think it was excellent tonight. A beautiful paint job. We're going to miss the guy. It was great.
Well, thank you for taking some time to talk with us, Michael, and hopefully we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, sir.
Looks like wasn't quite certain what happened, but it looks like we do have our third place finisher, Mr. John Held. William, this is William in the booth. You got me? Hey, John, this is William in the booth. You got me? I see you lighting up, John, but I'm not hearing anything.
Hey, you got me now?
Loud and clear. How you doing this evening?
Hey, good, thanks. Yeah, sorry I jumped out there. I heard the speaker bleep. I go, uh-oh, I'm supposed to be in there. So, yeah, I jumped back in.
Yeah, no, it's quite all right. I mean, you know, it happens. I have left broadcasts where I won before. So, it's
there you go.
it's like, where's our leader? Oh God, I'm supposed to be in that conversation. No, I wanted to congratulate you on your third place finish. I wasn't quite certain. It looked like you only took two stops there, two tires on that last stop. And I was like, oh, these cars are super loose on 2 tires. Is it going to stick? And looked like it stuck well enough to keep you in third. What was the decision? What prompted the decision to only take 2 tires?
Well, I've had pretty good left side tire wear. I thought, yeah, it might be a little loose, but you got to go for the win. So I thought we'll go for 2 rights. And when I got on the track, Gary went on the team speaker there and asked me if I've got 2 tires. He goes, uh-oh. So, yeah, I think I had something for him. Just had to clear, I think it was Colton under me that first lap, and then yellow came out. So I have no idea if I could run him down or not. But, yeah, that was the idea. Take a chance, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to win doing what the leader's doing, right? You got to do what you got to do to make it ahead. And it looked like, I mean, we had the caution there, but you know, how did the car feel there on those fresh tires going through turns 1 and 2? Is it pretty planted, pretty stable?
I found a little loose for me the first couple laps, the way I set my steering up. But then after that, yeah, I lifted a lot. I don't know if you watched how I raced tonight. I let 4 or 5 guys go by, then I'd pass them back, and I never push it too hard at the first of the few laps. Near the end there, I did though, because I want to stay right up with the leaders.
Yeah, we were noticing early on that you had a pretty good qualifying position, started really well, and then you were back to like 8th within a lap or two. So it definitely looked like you were saving tires in a cheese grater like Charlotte. I mean, that's pretty much what you have to do, especially in these cars running as tight as they were all night long.
Yep, exactly, and that was kind of my plan. Then when we got some of those cautions in there, I thought I got to run a little harder to step closer to the front just to make sure I'm there for the very end.
And you got there. Like I said, it was a lot. I was talking with Michael about how close this racing was all night long. It looks like no one was able to build up some kind of comfortable lead on the person behind them, or passing was really hard tonight. So watching you guys very expertly, I might say, navigate that top 5 was phenomenal. I mean, your number 9 was up there pretty much all night long.
Yeah, there was some really close racing at the front there. I seen the front 2 guys side by side. Well, I think me and Edson were side by side for 4th and 5th there. That whole last segment there, just couldn't get enough run to stay in front of them for the full lap. So yeah, it was really good racing by everybody.
And I will go ahead and say it's not every night that I am at the edge of my seat, watching folks go around the track. But you, Gary, John, everybody up there at the front, Derek, Colton, all of you did a fantastic job. So I mean, it was a hard fought 3rd place finish, and I definitely want to give you your flowers.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Again, condolences to Robert's family and everybody. We thank Lucky Dog, my wife, Brian for sure. I heard Michael mention him. He puts a lot of work into this. And congrats to Michael for the championship and Gary on the win.
Well, thank you, John. It was good watching you. Fantastic finish, and we hope to talk to you next time.
All right, we'll catch you next time. Thanks, William.
Thank you. And lastly, but most certainly not least, we have our race winner tonight, Gary Slapinski, the number 78. Gary, this is William in the booth. You got me?
Yeah.
I would go ahead and say probably most dominant car of the night, but and it worked to your benefit. Why did you stay out on 30-lap old tires?
I took a gamble. I really did. I really wanted to go in and take 2 tires, but that little voice in my head said stay out. And I guess listening to that little voice tonight worked. Usually the voice don't usually work for me, but tonight, and I heard Michael Chapin too, and he was like, he's going to stay out. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how many people are going to stay out. But there wasn't a whole lot of people that stayed out. But I don't know if I would have been in trouble. It would have been close. It would have been close at the end, though. But maybe I would have gotten the win anyway.
I mean, it would have been very close. I mean, you had folks like Colton Manich and Derek Garrison behind you who were both on brand new tires. But would they have been able to clear the 9 of John Held? Sorry, no, Colton did not. It was Derek. Oh, who was the other one who had 4? Sandy, Derek and Sandy.
Oh yeah, okay.
Had 4 tires, and so would they have been able to clear Colton? Colton's just as hard to pass as you are. Would they have been able to clear John Held with those 2 tires? So
yeah, then he got pegged too. They got to pass was in second. So I don't know. It would have been close.
Yeah, very close. But if I had made that gamble, I'd have been the caution. So like I'm looking at that like I was so worried for the end of that race. But no, absolutely a phenomenal race. I mean, you started first, you led just about every lap. I'm not certain. How were you able? This is the big question I have. Beyond anything else, Michael Pegg and Derek Garrison, and I do believe Colton Manich, up until he unfortunately was the caution. Prior to that caution, just after green flag pit stops, you pitted after all of those guys. But you were the one who didn't go a lap down. How did you avoid going a lap down under green?
I don't know. I don't know. I think when the caution came out, I was already past the start finish line, and then he did my pit, and I think I was the leader at that point still. So I was able to stay right there. That's the only thing I could think of. It's literally the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, because I was looking at that going, how in the world?
I didn't understand it either, but that's the only thing I could think of, because when the caution came out, I passed the start finish line. I did my pit and just left, and that leaves me the leader at that point, and everybody else was still coming around and checked up.
I mean, that is the explanation I think that makes the most sense. But hey, it worked. I would say, it worked out in your favor, but at the same time, you still had to contend with all of those guys at the end, and that was some really tight racing you guys had from then to the end. I mean, what was it like trying to hold off all of those guys?
Oh, it was tough. I mean, I thought I was taking care of tires at the end there, and I guess I wasn't. I think I let Derek get alongside me there, and I took it a little too gingery, and he got past me. I was like, oh man, I got to drive a little harder now. Then I got underneath him, and it was tough on the bottom there, on side by side. I don't know if I would have made it happen. Would have been close at the end there if it would have went green.
Well, I mean, absolutely fantastic job. I think you got just about every bonus point tonight. So congratulations. Obviously, we're waiting for the final tally on the points, but definitely want to take the opportunity to congratulate you on your win tonight. Absolutely commanding performance. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
I'm going to thank you tonight. I'm going to thank Lucky Dog. I know we had a member pass away. I want to thank, think of his family and everything, and God bless him. And, it's tough when you lose somebody. I know how that feels, and I don't like to go there. So it's tough. But I'm going to thank Lucky Dog. I'm going to thank my teammates, Michael, Brian, everybody that makes this all possible. And hopefully the future will set it to be better. So we'll see how Lucky Dog does here in the future here. So thank you for everything.
Well, thank you again, Gary. It's always pleasant talking with you. Hope you have a fantastic evening, and hopefully we'll talk to you next time.
You too. All right.
And that'll just about do us for this evening. This was our final race of the season. I think we got a few recruitment races between now and the start of the next season. Not certain exactly when that starts, but when I know, I will let you guys know when we are back racing for points. As always, if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. If you like the racing that you see and you want to get in on it, like I said, we're going to be holding some recruitment races. Our recruitment races happen the same day and time as the league itself. So if you want to come out and try our Gen 6 league, just look for us and host it over the next few weeks. On Tuesday evenings, practice at 7, race at 8. And last, but most certainly not least, well, I'm going to wait a second. We do still have our open wheel cars tomorrow night, and we do have trucks. I believe it's our truck finale, but I'll double check. We will have trucks on Thursday, same time, same channel. And that's where you will hear from me. I believe I'm going to try and call that race from the truck. So if you liked it when we tried it a week or so ago in Gen 6, definitely check that out. I'll be there with bells on. But now, last but most certainly not least, take a second, one last time this broadcast, to go ahead and shout out Robert Jordan. Go ahead and shout out his family. We've all lost people, and it's never easy when you lose a friend, a family member, just a loved one. It always hurts. Want to let his family know that we're thinking of him, we're praying for him, and it may or may not lessen the pain, but we all know that Robert is in a better place, and he's holding a seat for you. Want to thank Robert for gracing us with his presence while he was here. He was fun to race against, and I don't think there's a person in this league who raced me harder and with more respect than Robert Jordan. So, gonna miss you, bud. And I think that'll do us for this evening. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time. All right, I'll go ahead.